what's good, everybody? Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? I bet. So this is what we're gonna do. I seen this mode, my NBA. I'm gonna see how this shit go. I got the Lakers. They got Luca in here. Um, brand new season, brand new start of the season. So all that other shit. Here we here. I got Luca running the point. I got LeBron at the five. Um, everybody else I don't give a fuck about. It's Luca and LeBron's team. It's Luca and LeBron. That's it. Nobody else scoring. I think this is like my fourth game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm a little late to the party. I started this shit like 3 o'clock in the morning a couple of days ago, or like yesterday or 2 days ago. Yesterday, I think. Whatever the case may be. Um, and I've just been running it up. I'm about to show stats in a second, but it's just been Luca and LeBron. On God, I'll take all that. I'll take all that. We still up. I know what's expected. But we're gonna play this shit out. This shit gonna be fun. Set the jerseys. That's crazy. I said I got LeBron at the five. I'm gonna show stats right after this game. We haven't lost yet. We haven't lost yet. I take that. I take that. Evil Luca is over. And my son's been killing. My son's been killing. I'm gonna show stats. I'm gonna show stats. Right after this fucking game. Like I said, quick little intro, late intro. My sincere apologies. Should have been did an intro to this shit. But if I'm not mistaken, ooh, nice shot, clutch. If I'm not mistaken, we could do from like high school to college and shit. I do want to see how that shit go, but I also just want to like skip to this shit. It's Luca's turn. We here, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? I'm really jacking this shit. My son's is burnt out. Haven't fucking sat down yet, yo. But my son's been killing, man. LeBron been putting up like damn near double double, realistically. Nice shot. You need that. You need that. Let's try and get this 50. Nice. Same dude again. That shit cam was crazy. But we here though, we here. You don't have to pass that, nigga. Damn. And on me, come on, 3 fouls. That's the hard thing about playing the five with LeBron. Niggas is gonna foul you. Let's go, let's go. Foul me. Let's go, let's go. Luca. LA Luca. It's over. Luca. Luca. Let me put some shit on. Let's see what's popping.
that later on. There is part of me that finds this movie incredibly boring. The opening crawl might be the worst out of all the opening crawls. I said might be. And also, a lot of the space politics stuff never really resonated with me as a kid, if you can believe that. And
My
it
son is
still doesn't resonate
disrespectful.
with me now. But I
Evil
think that the
Luca,
point of this story
Evil Luca do not care about nobody. They already asked for two trades. They was gonna give me PJ and somebody else. I dubbed all that shit. I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that. Real quick, just little light. My son hit a buzzer beater, half court shot. Can you see it? Well, it should pop up on the John. It might pop up on the John. Those are all rebounds. He caught 5 rebounds, so they might show the rebounds first. And then they might show his shot. If they show his shot, I doubt it. I don't think they're gonna show his shot. It's whatever. They show the 5 rebounds, whatever. But Luca 53, not bad. 3, 4. Alright, looking good, looking good. LeBron 16, 16, 4. 16, 16, 4. 2, 1. Come on, man. 4 T's. I'll take all that. I'll take all that. My son played a whole 20 minutes, man. Um, let's check. How do I check the stats? Uh, stats. Season stats. League leaders. My son is killing, bro. It's been 5 fucking games. My son already got damn near double. Looking good. I want to make sure. I definitely want to make sure LeBron. I gotta make sure my son is good, bro. I don't. That's not bad. See, he's about to average a double double. I mean, a triple double. My son is about to average a triple double, low key triple double. Let me check my son. Uh, yeah, I don't really be going heavy with the assists. I just be going crazy with the scoring. But let me see. Let's see. Let's go with you. Boom. Let me see something. Player stats, team stats. No. Player stats. Alright, but here we go. Yep, this is what I was looking for. Team join. Even though we lead in the league right now. We lead in the league right now. Nobody's been scoring. Mm, we're gonna go crazy. We're gonna go crazy. I gotta check this next game, but we on it. We on it. This is what we rocking. Taking it back, old school shit, regular season shit. Pick a team and let's go. Um, Bonnie, putting in a little work. One, two. It's good though. We about to violate. Let's get back in tune. Let's get back in tune. This is the game that I'm waiting for right here. I already got it marked in my calendar. January 7th. Let's lock in. Let's lock in. So far, let's see the standings. Oh, we up. Good shit. 5-0, 5-0. The Mavs is 3-1. That's what I like. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it flowing. Who's next? I like how you could change the jerseys. This is what I'm jacking. I'm jacking this. See? Okay. Ooh, heavy, heavy, heavy. I always been a fan of this jersey. Uh, mm, everything look good, man. For the most part. None of these niggas play anyways, so it don't matter. But I gotta make sure my lineup is good. Let me actually move Sun down. Nah, I gotta switch that. I need him here. Alright, let's go. Let's get into Let's try and make it 6-0. Let's try and make it 6-0, man. Evil Luca. Evil Luca is a problem. This nigga's relentless. He don't care about nothing. Evil Luca don't care about nothing. I already seen my son is putting up. He's already averaging a double double. You feel me? LeBron about to average a triple double. And that's just the 1-2. I mean that's just the 1-5. I mean that's just the 1-5 right there. I don't even play with everybody else. I'm gonna get niggas in tune. Here we go, here we go. Easy breezy. Who that look like? Shaq and Kobe. I'm gonna give you that. I want this. I think I should make it LeBron's game, right? Yeah, I'm gonna make it LeBron's game. Come on, man. Fucking, it's just this nigga, bro. You don't gotta fucking foul this nigga, bro. Oh, shut your bitch ass up. Um,
Get matched today with the tax expert who's just right for your situation. They'll do your taxes from start to finish. And you can work with the same expert year after year with TurboTax.
Dino Crisis 1 was a tense, atmospheric panic horror. A dimly lit island base with no one around. You only fought when you had no choice because ammo was limited. Two or more enemies was a major problem. You sometimes solved puzzles to avoid fighting, and until you escaped, you were always being hunted. So Dino Crisis 2 is just more of the same, right? Oh my god, absolutely not. Dino Crisis 1 was a slow burn horror. This is a firework of explosions and action. There is a gun which fires ball lightning, a triple shot heat seeking missile launcher, arcade style light gun sections. There's even a bit where you call in an artillery strike on a dinosaur while you're standing next to it. If Dino Crisis 2 is a survival game, it's because the dinosaurs are trying to survive you. Dino Crisis 2 is as far from Dino Crisis 1 as you could possibly get, and thanks to this video's sponsor, Good Old Games, both of those games are now available on PC in a remastered bundle pack. Check the video description if you want to go and buy them. Now, as a kid, I had Dino Crisis 1, but never 2. I remember seeing adverts for 2, seeing screenshots of a rocket launcher or big dinosaurs and thinking, oh man, this must be terrifying. So this was genuinely my first playthrough of the game, and I went into this expecting more of the same. Basically, Resident Evil 1 to 2, I thought would be Dino Crisis 1 to 2. And as much as I like Dino Crisis 1, when I realised what 2 was trying to be, I ended up grinning from ear to ear the whole time. I really enjoyed this game. So grab your electrified baton, man the anti-dinosaur hovercraft cannon, and prepare to time travel all over again as we ask the Dino Crisis 2, was it actually any good? As usual, a massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon who make these videos possible. Launch the game, the program runs fine, it's stable, the keys are easy to remap, and the game runs in windowed mode, no problem at all. Software-wise, this works. So let's kick off with an extreme voiceover. 1 year has
Coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast.
incident. Dr. Cook's research on third energy has been taken over by a government agency.
Oh my god.
Massive research has begun at a
It's
base
the Bronze game.
Midwest. However, in their pursuit of immediate results, they failed to take the necessary precautions, and once again, an accident has occurred. This time, the entire research base, military institution, and a small town close by have disappeared. In their place, there now lies a jungle from another time. The plot of Dino Crisis 2
I'll give that up. I'll give that up. My son is tired.
no amount of context which would make this game better or worse, but basically, remember the third energy in the first game and how it could create a vortex which brought
Come
the
on.
past into our present. Well, here we have an entire research facility teleporting dinosaurs from the past to the present to capture and
Yo, good.
study.
Let's lock in. Let's
However,
lock in.
something has gone wrong, and the time vortex they were using has swallowed the entire research facility and the
Son is
surrounding town
tired,
and thrown
man.
them all into the past. So now we are sending a commando squad into the past to rescue it using a special hovercraft equipped with a third energy time travel engine. Look, don't think about it too much. It doesn't need to make sense. The opening cutscene shows the T-Rex is back, but this time we've got missile launchers, so it's not much of a threat, and we blind it. Game starts, and we are back to
Come on. I gotta lock in. I gotta lock in.
Resident Evil 1 and 2. None of that 3D engine nonsense the first game did. This means the backgrounds are way more detailed and visually interesting. We've also got voice acting, but again, no subtitles.
Let's go. Let's go.
The ivy's wrapped around the door. Won't open. Let's try the door over there.
Oh, come on. Didn't they teach you how to open the door at sword training? Here, I'll show you. Watch this.
Our team is 3 people. From the first game, joined by new guys Dylan and David. You'll swap control of Regina and Dylan at certain points. David only exists to get into trouble and further the plot. There are some mechanical differences between Regina and Dylan we'll see soon. We start as Dylan. Pressing select opens the map. We can see our location and facing on an area-specific minimap with all the local doors, vendors, and then an overworld map showing all the connections. The world isn't big, but it is dense, and navigating it is easy. Tank controls as before. We search this guy and grab a med pack for later, and you press square to slash your melee weapon. Melee is completely viable. Dylan has a machete, but it's not just for combat. If you see a gate covered in ivy, Dylan can hack the ivy away. For firepower, hold R1 to ready your shotgun. You can still run while aiming. Health is shown to the top right, and only a minute in, we're attacked by 3 dinosaurs. Now you'll notice we have 100 shotgun ammo, and combat plays a tad differently here. Bullets can pierce enemies, you run fast, shoot fast, and they die fast. You also get points per kill, like Devil May Cry, with bonuses for varying attacks between melee and range and scoring combos. You can climb this ladder fast to get away, enemies will jump up after you, turn around, shoot down, and then you realize Dino Crisis 2 is a fast-paced run-and-gun action game. So let's do this. The inventory screen is mapped to L3 by default. I find a support file and learn that killing enemies gets you extinction points, and you use these points at shop terminals to buy stupidly powerful sci-fi weapons and ammo. So the more combat you do, the better stuff you get. The mixing system is also being completely removed. You'll be using med packs way more, but they're also more common.
Now, because you get bonus points for combos, you're essentially encouraged to run in all guns blazing and make it from pack to pack. And there's a bonus for not taking any damage. So every section is essentially a small corridor, and after each one, you'll see a little recap of your score for that specific bit. But it's not just dinosaurs on this island. We also spot a mysterious ninja. Who are you? Are you one of the survivors? Don't run away! Come out!
Let's lock in, let's lock in. Got some Dino Crisis audio in the background. Let's lock in, man. It's gonna be a long game. But when it's 2v5, of course it's gonna be a long game.
I find an in-game hints on enemies, and the hint for the basic raptor is never run away, never turn your back to it, always fight. So basically, unlearn everything you learned from Dino Crisis 1. We are running and gunning, baby. In this room, we find our first save point, unlimited saves, and our first shot. New weapons, upgraded armor, or increased maximum ammo for a weapon you already have. Buying the increased maximum ammo also refills your ammo, so it's more efficient than buying refills alone. Explore more, then run through this rather nice-looking farmland with lovely views into the distance, and within 5 minutes, I've killed more dinosaurs than the entirety of Dino Crisis 1 even had. Some locations like here seem to be unlimited spawn points. You can press L1 to switch targets and essentially farm points, provided you're not spending more on ammunition than you are earning. Reach the facility and we meet the one-eyed T-Rex, the one we shot with the RPG from earlier. It's back for revenge. So we've got a personal grudge boss. A nemesis, if you will. You can't kill the T-Rex yet, so just run. And I love how it's the T-Rex that smashes the scenery up, which opens the escape route of this fight. Similar to the first boss crashing into the building in Future Cop LAPD, I really like when enemies and scenery interact, and it's beneficial for the player. But as we run, more ninjas shoot some more explosive discs at us, so we dodge into a building, find some more files on the T-Rex, and a note explaining the 10th anniversary of the third energy experiment failure. So this facility has been here in the past for 10 years. Occasionally you'll turn a corner and see some cockroaches or insects scurry away. This is just a nice flourish to add some visual movement to the scene. And here's a lovely touch. Every time you use an item from your inventory, the inventory reassesses itself to consolidate down and take up as little space as possible. I get attacked by a raptor and start bleeding. Your health bar turns red when you are bleeding, and you'll constantly lose health until you stop the bleeding using a healing item. Bleeding is more dangerous than just taking direct damage because you'll lose more health over the long term from this status. Eventually I find a locked door, but it's electronically locked. Remember this, it will be important later. We find some more memos on the state of the citizens and the soldiers of the local town. We use a key to open a safe, but then the room we are in locks itself. Dylan is trapped. Time to play as Regina. Both characters play in the same area through the same sections, but the interactions and routes are very slightly different. Regina starts with a pistol. This will quickly be outclassed, but unlike the first game, is actually a decent weapon. With the mechanical changes, Regina has a stun baton melee weapon. Good in close combat, but the mechanical difference is while Dylan can hack Ivy away from gates with a machete, Regina can short-circuit electronic locks, so a route unavailable to one is available to the other. Has to be said as well here, the music is an absolute banger. Cross this bridge, see enemies below us, then enemies above us, and the camera angles and use of depth to enhance the feeling of being totally trapped in this deadly world is just terrific. I get attacked by these flying swarms of mosquitoes, try to shoot them, but no use. You have to melee them instead. Remember, Dino Crisis 1 had no real mechanical variation for enemy behaviors. Here, we've already got enemies that you need to melee attack. I then get attacked quite a lot and taken to 0 health, but there's a final chance mechanic. The hit which takes you to 0 doesn't kill you. You only die if you take damage while on 0 health. so you have a final chance to panic heal. We explore the jungle a bit, and welcome to the poison swamp bit. Touching the poison will kill you, so don't do that. Go to climb up, get attacked, and decide to run away. Need a slightly bigger gun for this fight. Needs touch with movement. If you run towards some enemies, they will jump at you. But if you keep running, you can dodge underneath them. So running away is worse than running in. Everything is designed to encourage you to stay in the action. Inside a building, we find a file about poisonous plants. It says, use a flamethrower. So we check the nearby shop, and wouldn't you know it, they're selling a flamethrower. Dino Crisis 2 has a selection of weapons. They're all brutal. Just be aware you can have a one-handed main weapon and a one-handed melee weapon equipped at the same time. The shotgun counts as a one-handed weapon, but if you equip a two-handed weapon like the flamethrower, you lose your melee attack. You can, however, open the menu at any time, even in combat, and change back to get your melee attack back. Dylan and Regina don't share all weapons. Some purchases on one aren't available on the other. For example, Dylan gets the solid-state cannon, which creates a ball of localized electrical lightning, and Regina gets the missile pod, which fires 3 homing smaller missiles. Dylan gets the single-shot rocket launcher, Regina gets the submachine guns. Weapons with a mechanical use, however, like the flamethrower destroying the poison plants, allowing for navigation, are available to both. Armed with the new power of long-range flame, we head back to the plants but bump into another strange ninja, get into a little altercation, end up saving them from death, and then we interrogate them.
Grab my hand. Who are you? Listen, young lady, I don't want to do this to you, but
To a pipe in a random office, sure, nothing bad will happen. The flamethrower, like every video game flamethrower ever, eats ammunition but is incredibly powerful. It can even toast the armored Allosaur outside. See, backtracking and mechanical progression against resistant enemies based on unlocking new power. Dino Crisis 2 may look like dumb, stupid fun, but there's actually a lot of really competent design philosophies hiding under the surface. Now we can burn the poison plants and make it deeper into the jungle, but we do find another note that says to reach the missile silo, we will need a gas mask. Remember that. Have to say, the pre-rendered backgrounds of poison plants just look gorgeous together. Beautiful mix of colors combined with the orange of the flamethrower. It just really works. Reads the same farmland from earlier. Enjoy the herbivores in the distance just grazing, reinforcing that the dinosaurs can be peaceful. We are the ones running around with guns here. They were just chilling. Finally reach the facility, take some key cards and run through the rooms, blasting enough to stun the small raptors, and finally reach and rescue Dylan.
Hey, what took you so long?
nice to see you too. You owe me one. I found a young female survivor, but she was uncooperative. I locked her up in the control shack. I'll take her back to the ship. You go on ahead. I'll meet you there. Just try to relax. What is wrong with you? You're a survivor, right? Please, we're here to help. What's your name? Where are all the others? Where's your family?
Gina, you better come and see this.
Who trashed the place?
It wasn't Dinosaurs. Someone must have got in here and destroyed all the computers.
The activator for the gate is broken too. We can't get back to our own time.
It must have been those people with the helmets.
They also damaged the engine activator. We can't even move our ship.
Okay, we'll have to look for something in this world in order to get us back to our original time. And we have to find parts for the ship, too.
Hey, before you go, handcuff the girl so she won't run away. There's a facility we haven't gone to yet. You gotta check it out.
Right.
With this, we return to our special military hovercraft, but oh no, our special magical time travel vortex third energy engine has been destroyed. We are now trapped in the past, unless we can fix it. What a crisis. With dinosaurs. 2. We explore around the boat and see that our ship is quite the assault vessel, which is good because we'll be doing quite some assaulting quite soon. The world map is also flashing red on a certain section. This is probably important, so I journey on over. More battles with more Orlosaurs, and these guys have more tactics than I realised. They are only vulnerable when attacked from the side. So you need to bait them into a charge, then dodge around, or run at them and around them, flaming as you go. Enemy variety, that's impressive. So I can't quite reach the red on the map yet, but some boxes from earlier have moved, opening a new route. So we run and gun our way past more dinos, and I've just realised you don't need to reload any weapon. Just run and gun. No wasted time. We spot our old nemesis, one-eyed T-Rex in the distance, and then reach the water tower. We got here earlier with Regina, but now Dylan can clear a route with his machete, crisscrossing critical paths with different unlocks. I like it. I buy a new weapon, the solid-state cannon. Ammo is more expensive, so I use this sparingly, but I give it a try, and oh my god, this is a beast. And I learn right now that the solid-state cannon, despite being one of the earliest weapons, is the best weapon in the game. It creates an orb of electrical energy which hovers in the air in front of you, shocking everything that comes near it many times a second. Every new shot replaces the previous orb, and you can run up to enemies and effectively shoot the ball lightning inside the enemy model, negating any defense they have. This trivializes most enemies, fries anything from the inside out. You will be using this weapon until endgame. While climbing a ladder, you are animation locked into the climb, but you are also invulnerable, so it's a sneaky tactic to avoid damage if you time it right. Shoot our way into the facility and meet a new enemy, poison-spitting dinosaurs. 3 of them, in fact, so we're dealing with ranged attacks now as well, and I'm out of good ammo, so I just burn or run past them. Inside, we learn that we may be able to build a new time travel engine by scavenging some parts from the facility, a nearby town, and a missile silo. A note in here also tells us that these small dinosaurs are called compies, and you can lure them into traps using shiny things. We go to leave, and wouldn't you know it, a tiny compy jumps out and steals the keycard that we just got, and then runs away. Now this is a puzzle, and for some reason you can't just shoot the guy. Instead, you must open and close the various ventilation shafts around the multiple rooms and chase the compy from room to room, leading it all the way to the cage at the very end, and then taking your keycard back. Using the card, we can get deeper into this facility and find experiment vats filled with liquid and human-like bodies suspended. What kind of experiments were they doing on this island? We also find a starter battery, which is probably useful for rebuilding the hovercraft engine. So we return, but the prisoner we chained up is no longer here.
She's gone.
Yeah, I can see that. You know what else is weird? I checked the stats on all the residents and soldiers, but I couldn't find any profile fitting her description. It's like she doesn't exist.
Well, I was thinking, maybe she's not one of the survivors at all. What if those helmet people are from a completely different time than ours?
What?
Never mind. We found parts that might help fix the ship. But what matters now is we still haven't found any survivors or helpful data, so we must move on and search elsewhere.
This control panel is programmed to search for the areas where we can dock. Use it.
Right.
We installed the starter battery. We can't travel through time yet, but we can at least move the hovercraft. And now you have 2 locations you can travel to, the military 3rd Energy Research Facility or the civilian Edwards City. Let's go to Edwards City first. But even that isn't simple, because as we set off, seems dinosaurs can now swim, and the pterodactyls are back. This means it's time for an on-rails shooting section. There are a few times this mechanic will come up. You can see the maps, you know how far you have left to go. You've got sea monsters, pterodactyls, so just keep firing. Watch out for the danger warnings, and just as I'm thinking, this is like an arcade game. Regina says,
Good job. We're here. Sharpshooter, aren't you? Hang around the arcade much?
so Dino Crisis 2 is fully silverware. Finish the gunning section, reach Edwards City. The shop has some new stuff now, an inner suit which can prevent bleeding, an upgraded machete, or extending Unfortunately, Edward City is locked. You actually need to travel to the Third Energy military facility first. Traveling between them now doesn't let you do the arcade shooter mini-game again, which is a shame because it was fun. I like what they were going for with the open world feel, with the hovercraft as the transport hub, the save room and the shop, but you've only got 3 locations. The jungle that you start in, then Edward City and the military Third Energy facility, and you need to visit them in a specific order. So while we will be backtracking later, I don't think they really pushed this freeform discovery element as far as it could go. We reach the Third Energy facility, run along some gantryways above some pools of water, and long-necked dinos flail around and attack us. Don't waste too much ammo on these, as they do respawn quite fast, but do be aware they take more damage if you shoot them as they lunge at you, so there's even an element of timing involved here. Find a record on a dead guy. It says he dropped his engineering card key back in the jungle spring, and now that section from earlier is flashing on our map, so it's time for some backtracking. Take the hovercraft back to the jungle, return to the spring, but where would the car key be? Well, notice you can watch this leaf float down the stream. If you follow the leaf, you'll find where the card key was carried off to by the water. It's a lovely way of combining visual design with mechanical hints. We grab the key, head back to the facility, and go inside. We find a docked boat with a supply box, but it's locked, so I head all the way inside and find a boat box key. Then a record saying Bob the mechanic had a key to Edward City, but he went to check on the underwater section of the reactor and hasn't come back yet, so I know where we are heading. But while here, I pick up a new weapon, the triple homing rocket launcher. This thing is a beast. It takes down flying enemies super fast, homes in on the tentacles. Sure, it eats through ammo, but we're basically unkillable now. I even find a Third Energy mechanic ID card, then use that to open the box on the boat, and inside there find the code for the underwater facility, 4521. If you forget this, unlike Dino Crisis 1, Dino Crisis 2 has a complete journal, which records every file and code you have found, so you can double-check anything at any time. You can farm the tentacles for points using the triple rocket launcher if you like, as each one rewards more than it costs to buy the ammo to kill it. When you're done, head into the underwater lab. You need to restart the reactor, but it's locked down. Don't worry, Regina is a dab hand at restarting reactors. To reboot this system, you must play whack-a-mole with the lights. Use Regina's stun baton to hit whatever lights up. The timings on this are actually quite tight, but after hitting the generator enough and performing percussive maintenance, it reboots, and we get the diving suit. Activate the elevator, descend into the water, put on the suit, but we are not alone. And so starts the underwater bit. You move slower. Everything has this gentle aquatic glow, and there are many crocodiles. Thankfully, we've got a powerful short-range punch which knocks the enemies away and pushes us backwards slightly, and an unlimited ammo long-range spear gun. This is starting to feel like a James Bond film, and I mean one of the good old James Bond films, and the music is just pure old-school cheesy action film, and I am here for it. Another shop. I don't quite have the money to purchase the, get ready for this, underwater automatic grenade launcher, but my god, I will buy this the moment I can. You can also jump while underwater, and jumping is needed, such as jumping over this rusted shut gate. You can even shoot while in I was going to say air, but I suppose mid-water. To include a platforming section in an underwater section using pre-rendered backgrounds is a fascinating gameplay choice, but my god, it just works. There's a broken column here. We need to destroy it, but our weapon doesn't have the firepower, so getting the aqua grenade gun isn't just for combat, it's needed for puzzle progression, which will also ensure that you have it for the following boss. So farm some enemies, grab the new gun, and now we're one-shot killing most things. Blow the column up, ascend the steps it makes, find a plug, use this to open some more doors, and deeper in we go. Eventually, we find the body of Bob the mechanic, dead, of course, so we take the key to Edward City, head into the deepest part of the facility, and then a huge dinosaur swims past us, damaging the reactor and trapping us in with it. This leads to, and I'm so happy I get to say these words, an underwater platform puzzler run-and-gun boss fight against a giant aquatic dinosaur. Ledge to ledge, firing underwater grenades, punching it in the face. Honestly, this is just a stupidly fun boss fight. boss down, find an elevator, take it back to the surface, and oh hey, we're back in Edward City. I guess the research facility runs under the lake and connects the two locations. We then get a call from David, our third teammate. He tells us to head into the city now we have the card, and we switch back to playing as Dylan. Inside the city, we meet a Triceratops. Enemies are a bit tougher, but the electric cannon is still carrying us. We find a new dino file on a new enemy, only weak when they stand on their hind legs just before an attack. So I guess now we're playing chicken with a dinosaur. David, our other team member, is leaving marks of yellow paint on trees, and we must follow them to find him. So, is this the first use of yellow paint to guide the player? Dino Crisis 2 was a trailblazer. We reach a rock blocking our path and get told we can destroy it with the chain mine gun. I need a shop, so I check the map, but the electrical interference of the city blocks our map. That's a lovely touch. So for this bit, we're navigating the old-fashioned way, by memory. Take down a massive dinosaur outside using the brutal power of the electric gun, then buy the chain mine. This is a one-handed sidearm. It fires a small line of mines onto the floor, which then blow up, making it the ultimate defensive weapon, and as we'll soon see, mechanically unique. We use the chain mine to blow up the rock and head into the cave system. Seems we're inside a volcano. There are some lava flows. We even meet some armored dinosaurs that the electric gun can't do much damage to, but if you use the chain mine, the explosions will flip them onto their back, and then you can fry them. Nice little combo there. Make it all the way through the cave, meet up with Regina in the city, but then we're attacked by a massive dinosaur, and now starts one of the most absurd sections in a game made almost entirely of absurd sections. Regina and Dylan need to navigate through the city streets, but there are lots of dinosaurs, so Dylan sits in a massive artillery turret, and Regina runs through the streets with a flare gun. You shoot a flare, and then moments later, Dylan will rain down artillery on you. It doesn't hurt you, only the enemies. So you run through the streets calling in constant artillery strikes on yourself to kill dinosaurs. But as cool as that is, it's still not as powerful as the triple-shot rocket launcher at close range. You know that bit in Resident Evil 5 when Chris punched a boulder to death and everyone thought, that's it, that's the most absurd moment in Capcom games? I would argue that this is. Special Force spies taking on multiple dinosaurs using electro ball stun guns to lock them in, then calling an airstrike on themselves. This is the moment it gets silly, and it's brilliant. You swap control between Regina and Dylan as each moves from turret to turret, providing constant artillery support for the other until eventually reaching the central compound. Everything is dead, but then we're charged by another angry Triceratops. We dive into a jeep, Regina takes the wheel while we man the mounted grenade launcher, of course. Another on-rails shooter section. This time the Triceratops charges through the undergrowth at the jeep, eventually joined by a friend doing the same. Just keep pelting grenades at them until Regina accidentally drives the jeep off a cliff, crashing us into a dino nest in a cutscene which still stands up remarkably well. Thankfully, our teammate David is here to save the day. That helicopter attack scene is one of the best cutscenes in both Dino Crisis games. I know, technically there are 3, if you want to be pedantic, 4 Dino Crisis games, but we are not acknowledging 3 and 4. The team then reunites and heads to the destroyed Edward City, but due to the damage, David crashes the helicopter, so we decide to split up and search the city to rebuild the time gate on our own hovercraft to return to our time. Back to playing as Dylan. We need a living quarters key, so we search around, find some more dinosaurs, even find a local drugstore. I wonder if this is a Resident Evil 2 Easter egg. A shop. A raptor killed with a single shotgun blast. Seems very specific. I buy the rocket launcher for Dylan at the shop. Amazingly powerful weapon, but does have a tendency to shoot over their enemies if they are too close. You can counter this by just firing more rockets or using the electric solid cannon. Despite being the early weapon, it's still the best. Explore the city with an old one-eye McT-Rex shows back up. Thankfully, there happens to be a fully functional tank close by. That's convenient, so we hop on in and now need to drive through the city streets, using the rotating primary cannon to both keep the T-Rex at bay and destroy obstacles in front of us. You can use secondary fire to fire a flashbang grenade and stun the T-Rex. You still can't kill him, but here's where I realised that Dino Crisis 2 is essentially a series of very fun and very short mini-games like arcade shooters, on-rails jeep chases, whack-a-mole with lights, artillery bombardment, or tank driving, connected by running and gunning down corridors. Reach the end of the route, the tank gets stuck, so we hop out and we find the gas mask, meaning we can now access the missile silo. Then even more ninjas show up. We are outnumbered but saved by the prisoner girl we took earlier. She drops a necklace, and Dylan recognizes it.
What happened?
My sister's necklace. This necklace belonged to my sister who passed away.
What?
This can't be possible. It looks so much like the one my sister used to wear.
What do you mean?
Well, I was a very different person before I joined the army. Just a worthless street thug. At the time, I was in a gang, and one day our rivals forced their way into my house. When I wasn't home, my mom and sister were. They're gone. And after that, I joined the army, and have spent every day trying to make up for the past.
Come on, let's go back to the patrol ship. We have no business here now.
I found a gas mask over there. We could use it to get into the deadly poison zone in the jungle. Let's go.
That's right. The ninja girl looks exactly like Dylan's sister. How can this be, you might ask? And that's a very good question. Let's see what the game can figure out to come up with. Pilot the hovercraft back to the jungle from the start, use the gas mask to access the missile silo, and hope we can find the remaining parts to fix our own time travel engine. We push into the silo and find a disc on all the third energy research. I interact with all the desks in case there are hidden items, and there are. I find a secret file on the Gigantosaurus, a myth, a legend, a dinosaur bigger than the T-Rex, but nobody has ever seen it. Only the destruction it leaves. So we go to leave, but then our old friend the T-Rex shows back up. But the myths are true.
You again? Persistent thing, aren't you? Dylan, you scared me. I finally found the third energy data disk.
Great. Now we can get out of here. I brought the patrol ship around behind the building. Come on, let's go.
What?
It's a cyclops.
You can't. The T-Rex is already... Attack on missile launcher confirmed. Activating emergency interception. Missile will launch in 10 minutes. Evacuate immediately. The computer's malfunctioning.
This is not good. Where's the control panel for the missile?
It's inside the warhead. I'll go in and shut off the controller. You go ahead and activate it.
Okay. Be careful.
Gigantosaurus has not only thrown away our Nemesis, but also damaged the missile silo and started the 10-minute launch countdown timer. We now have 10 real-life minutes activated because we need the internal components of it to fix our time travel hovercraft. God, this game is stupid and I love it. This is a hybrid combat puzzle section. You switch on the gas taps and then several times, it falls down, giving you time to activate the lift to ride up and restart the bridge by doing another whack-a-mole light mini-game. And if you miss a single one, you fail, and timings are really tight now. And when you reach the 6-minute mark, the background music speeds up to add to the tension. Eventually reach the warhead, deactivate it, get the parts we need to fix our engine, and go and leave. But the Gigantosaurus is not dead. The missile falls over but doesn't explode, and then we begin our escape. The facility is now on fire. We shoot our way past these larger Komodo dragon-style dinosaurs. Even the rocket launcher struggles with these. But I do have to say, the killing of the T-Rex in this way is the first design choice I've really disagreed with. Just having a cutscene show it being thrown away. The T-Rex was a personal enemy, with a recognisable scar, a grudge. We saw it in the first cutscene. We caused that damage. It appears to hinder us multiple times. Having it be defeated by just a bigger dinosaur feels underwhelming. It feels like they've traded personal connection for spectacle. While Gigantosaurus is cool and all, T-Rex was our bad guy. It's like if the Nemesis in Resident Evil was defeated by just a bigger random mutant halfway through. Eventually we do reach the hovercraft. Unfortunately, the sound balancing in this game is just as bad as the first.
Are you okay with it? Get on with it. Give me a break, man. What the heck? Great, the water gate's closed. We can't go any further.
Wait, there's a valve. Maybe we can open the gate manually.
Whoa! Let the men handle this. Let's go, bro.
Fine. You boys, play nice now.
The waterway is blocked. We need to open the spillway gates, so David does that while we keep him safe, providing overwatch with a mounted tower cannon. Another first-person shooter section. Once he's opened the gate, we all head back to the boat, but tragedy strikes. Rip in peace, David. I'll always remember you as the guy I always forget is in Dino Crisis 2. Dylan got thrown to safety from that and washes up on shore. We meet the strange ninja girl from earlier and now have to escort her through the jungle. Yes, it's an escort mission, but it's fine because she can fight back. This leads to an unknown part of the jungle not on our map, with what seems to be a massive time gate. This is the hyper-advanced main lab. To get inside, we must deactivate 4 lasers, each controlled by a giant pylon out the front of the lab. So push the button on the pylon, deactivate it, fight the dinosaurs that spawns, and eventually head on in. We find the superintendent's will and learn that the lab we are in was designed to keep the dinosaurs safe, with specialized life support chambers that can heal any wound. These chambers were programmed to feed knowledge to their inhabitants on how to live and grow, effectively how to be dinosaurs in the way we need you to be in order to fix the past. But this is dinosaur-specific knowledge, as they were never meant to house human beings. The surviving children of the facility who were wounded in the dinosaur attack were, however, placed in these life support chambers to save their lives, in the hope that people from the past would one day be able to rescue them. The problem being that these children have been brainwashed by the chambers and being constantly fed dinosaur behavioral information, leaving them unable to speak and acting with a pack-like mentality similar to that of dinosaurs, explaining why the helmeted survivors attack us on sight. Reach the main hall, beautiful pre-rendered backgrounds, and a hologram addresses Dylan, bringing more shocking revelations. Welcome, Lieutenant Morton. A hologram? How does he know my name? There's not much time left, so I'll explain it short and simple. On August 10th, 2055, our Noah's Ark became successful. Year 2055? What's he talking about?
But it's too late now. My wife, Julia, was killed by the dinosaurs. And my loving child, she was hurt. Badly. Paula. Paula? Is that your name? My only mission now is to protect my crew. I have kept Paula and the other children safe by putting them inside life support chambers. Please, take the children back to your plan. And now, I should introduce myself. I'm former Special Forces tribe member.
You're myself in the future?
We don't have much time left. There's a gate behind the door. You can use it to return to your time. The gate is not complete yet. You'll be able to use them only once. Please, say hello to Regina for me.
Shock reveal. Now, I'll try to explain this. Get ready, it gets really dumb. The Third Energy Project, the whole take dinosaurs from the past and study them in the present plan, caused problems in the past because you effectively changed a whole ecosystem. This led to a butterfly effect, creating an alternate timeline reality where humans never existed. To fix this, something called the Noah's Ark plan was put into place, where ancient organisms were transported from the past 3 million years into the future to a similar environment, allowed to exist and evolve as they would have normally, then sent 3 million years back to the past to replace the dinosaurs that were originally taken and effectively fix the problems the invasive study caused, thus fixing the timeline so humanity evolves normally. Basically trying to make a dinosaur and then just put it back where it should be. But the Noah's Ark plan went wrong when the facility in the future attempted to use their time gate, overloaded it, and blew it up, stranding the created dinosaurs, soldiers, and scientists of the plan in the future. Dylan is the commander of this facility, which means right now we are not in the past, we are actually 3 million years in the future. But there is one time gate in the facility which still works, which can send one person to the past, or present, technically. Now, if you stop to think about this, it makes absolutely no sense. But there is no time to think. Ninja clones are back, Gigantosaurus back, and another timer kicks off. We have 5 actual minutes to deactivate all the safeguards and escape. But before we do, we interact with some computer terminals, re-establish a satellite uplink, lock onto the Gigantosaurus position, which is right next to us, and then, and I swear this is literally the first time the game even mentions this as a thing, fire the satellite-mounted orbital bombardment ion cannon, melting the Gigantosaurus and everything below it. This game has a lot of shocking revelations, but the revelation of, oh yeah, there's also a super weapon in space that we could use whenever we want, that was definitely an unexpected twist. The ion cannon blast has almost destroyed the facility. Paula, that's the phone girl's name, is pinned. The gate is open. Dylan could leave, but instead he pushes Regina through.
Dylan, what are we gonna do? If we don't go now, we'll never get back.
Regina, the gate is open. I know you don't want to, but you have to be back by yourself. I will leave you both.
Are you crazy? Just go.
Wait, you have the third energy data, right? When you get back to our original time, use the data to learn about third energy. Then build a perfect gate that will pick us up for the last time.
I hope. Do. I will. I promise. 10 seconds. Don't forget, you still owe me one.
Well then, you better get back quick.
Regina now needs to build a time gate in the present to rescue Dylan from 3 million years in the future. And the game ends, because this is an early 2000s action game, with a still image of Dylan in casual clothes driving a sports car showing your total score. What a wild ride. The main game only took me 4 hours and 10 minutes to beat without a guide, but goddamn was it an intense 4 hours. But we're still not quite done. You can now spend the remaining extinction points you have on unlocking stuff for the Colosseum, a wave survival fight mode inside a small VR-style arena, where you can play as Regina, Dylan, the tank, dinosaurs, or even Gale from the first Dino Crisis, finally letting you kill the T-Rex. And that is Dino Crisis 2. So now we can answer the simple question, was it actually any good? Honestly, for what comes across as a stupidly over-the-top, dumb, fun shooter, there's a surprising amount of design competence, backtracking, new routes, progression, weapons having both combat and then exploration utility, gameplay variation, enemy variation, beautiful visuals, and engaging set pieces. I think many people were annoyed at how different Dino Crisis 2 is to Dino Crisis 1, and then how short it ended up being. But I actually enjoyed the experience of playing this game more than the first. I think the switch to arcade-style action worked pretty well. The visuals are great, the music is great, the moment-to-moment gameplay is exciting, and what few images there are interact with your weapons. I think you could have used some of the mini-games like driving or hovercraft shooting.
Really miss my nigga. Why people you can sing it to just change that into a W. Miss my wigger.
I think they attempted a more
And say,
fell a bit flat. The hovercraft
really miss my wigger.
more fleshed out, gaining skills or weapons from specific places and backtracking for secrets like Soul Reaver, having optional areas. You can even expand Dino Crisis into a more Metroidvania style game. The horror element is fully replaced with mechanical action, so lean into that. My biggest gripe is how the one-eyed T-Rex was set up as a personal rival from the start, with a repeated appearance like the Nemesis system and just killed by the Gigantosaurus at the very end, which was then killed with a super weapon we knew nothing about. It feels lackluster, like it was an unearned payoff. I'd have preferred to have the T-Rex actually kill the Gigantosaurus somehow. Something as absurd as the T-Rex pressing the button to launch the missile, or fire the ion cannon and then we kill him with the pistol. And where the hell did the ion cannon even come from? Was that a last-minute addition to explain how we killed the Gigantosaurus? But all these are narrative nitpicks, and hey, we've got time-traveling dinosaurs and cloning. It's not exactly the most watertight narrative. In fact, it's the opposite of watertight. It's wet. It's complete, utter nonsense. It flows like one of those stories you'd write in school, like each person writing a sentence, folding the paper over, and passing it to the next person. All anyone knows is something to do with dinosaurs and time travel. I mean, the plot of the first game wasn't great, but it made sense. This is just absurd. But all in all, it was great fun. Unfortunately, they did make a sequel, Dino Crisis 3. This was an Xbox exclusive, meant to be released for PS2 but never quite being finished, where you fight cloned DNA experiments which look like dinosaurs on a space station. It is by all accounts absolutely terrible, and if I can find a way to play it, my god I will. But to end this review, I will award Dino Crisis 2
Good job. Over here. Sure. Hang around the arcade much?
out of 10. Cheers for watching. Another massive thank you to the team at GOG for sponsoring this video and the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who keep the channel alive. You can support from only £1 a month. Check the video video description for links to the GOG Dino Crisis 1 and 2 bundle, Patreon, Instagram, and Discord. And as always, remember. Part of this video is sponsored by a secret organisation definitely not hell-bent on taking over the world, which marks exactly is hidden behind a locked door and the key is in a box locked in another box behind a hidden crane puzzle or some other obtuse process. It is 1996. The world gets Resident Evil, a locked camera slow burn survival horror where a special forces team battles zombies in a creepy mansion and then uncover a greater world-threatening conspiracy. Then in 1998 we get Resident Evil 2, a locked camera slow burn survival horror where a special forces team battles zombies in a creepy city and then uncover a world-threatening conspiracy. And my god, if the formula works twice, it means it's pretty good. But what if we replace the zombies with dinosaurs? Well, only 1 year later, in 1999, while we were all partying like Prince instructed us to, Capcom dropped Dino Crisis, a slow-burn survival horror with locked camera where a special forces team battled dinosaurs on a creepy island and then uncover a world-threatening conspiracy. And my god, I think we all remember this game being pretty damn good. So welcome, I'm Josh Strife-Hayes, and over here in the UK, I got my first taste of Dino Crisis on PlayStation Demo Disc number 51. While I was mostly excited about Metal Gear Special Missions and Quake 2, the moment that T-Rex smashed through the office window and gave 9-year-old me a lifelong fear of floor-to-ceiling windows, I knew Dino Crisis was something special. But why am I talking about Dino Crisis? Because I've already made a review of this game back on my main channel 4 years ago, back when I was putting green screen skits into the videos, which I still stand by being very funny. Resident Evil 2 sold well, but now we need a new gimmick. What have you got for me? Make it first person, set it on a boat. That's rubbish, no one will play it. You, turn it into a hack and slash action game about devils. They might be crying. That's a terrible idea and will never work. You, Johnson, what have you got? Johnson, dinosaurs. It's genius. Give that man a raise. You're welcome. What are we doing? Please like and subscribe. Well, it's because Dino Crisis, now 25 years old, saw a re-release on the PlayStation Plus store, and everyone was very excited until everyone realised it was locked behind the PS Plus Premium Tier membership, the most expensive level at $18 a month, which sucks because it's basically renting the game. And call me old school, but I'm a big fan of video game ownership. When I pay money for a game, I like to know I can access that game whenever and install it wherever. An archaic view, I know, but thankfully one shared by the beautiful sponsor of this video, Good Old Games. I've worked with GOG a few times. I very much agree with their DRM-free policy and just selling you the game files to keep. So when they told me that Dino Crisis wasn't just coming back to the PlayStation Plus store, but also to PC, and it would be cheaper to buy and own it rather than rent it, I was pretty happy. And when they asked me for a favour, I was listening. The GOG team watched my videos and they've seen the original Dino Crisis review from 4 years ago, so they've asked me to play through the PC build of Dino Crisis 1 completely and compare it with the previous PlayStation 1 build, pick up any bugs and breaks and see if it, works. So this video is both a replay and a review of Dino Crisis and a technical test that the GOG version actually works. Then at the end I may have some news on Dino Crisis 2. As usual, a massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who keep the channel alive and let me focus on older, more obscure games. Download, launch, and it launches in full screen. Now, I'm a fan of playing games in windowed mode for ease of recording, but old games often crash whenever you Alt-Tab or try and affect the resolution, and I can't find that graphical option in-game. So I asked GOG if it can be launched in windowed mode, and they sent me back this. This is the level of professionalism we're working with. Paint skills are off the charts. But fair play to them, that does work, and windowed mode is actually very stable. No crashes my entire playthrough. You can remap the controls from keyboard to a controller pretty easily, and I like how on the remap screen, whatever button you have highlighted, Regina, the main character, is doing that action in the background. And now one of the 3 problems I found during the playtest. How do you quit the program? You can Alt-Tab and click X or Control-Alt-Delete to bring up Task Manager, but where's the actual quit option in the game? Well, this isn't listed in the controls layout, and while it is listed in the manual, the game launches in full screen, so if you launched it first, you can't open the manual, but you need to press F9 twice. Can't really fault Good Old Games for this one, though, as this is a quarter of a century old PC game. Game design was a lawless wasteland back then. Start the game, and you'll notice we can choose Operation Wipeout. On the PlayStation version, that's a reward for beating the game in under 5 hours. On the PC version, it's unlocked as default. We'll have a look at that later. For now, we choose Original or Arrange mode. And what is the difference? It's not quite difficulty. Both of these are considered normal, despite one of them being harder. Hard mode is actually unlocked by completing either of these. These are region differences. Original is the Japanese version of the game, which gives you 30 continues, and Arrange mode is American, which gives you 5. The placement of in-game items is slightly different, and the code numbers you find on key cards and the numbered solutions to puzzles are also slightly different. If you're reading a guide while playing the game, make sure it's the guide for the version you are playing. I'll go with Original, and for my first playthrough, I'll go with Easy mode. This is a hard game with 3 endings, and the 30 continues might be needed. And now choose a costume. Now, you're meant to start with the classic infiltration spy costume, the one everyone cosplays. The others, the army battle and then ancient cave woman, are rewards for completing the game and getting one of the 4 endings. But here they're just available from the start. This is either an unlocked bug on the build I'm playing, or they've just made them available on the PC build. Because after I did finish the game and went back to replay it, it asked me if I wanted to use the unlimited ammo grenade launcher, which is meant to be a reward for finding all 3 endings, not just 1. I've messaged the GOG team to find out what this is. Special Agent Tom has been working undercover at a secret clean energy research project on Ibis Island, which he suspects to be a cover for something else. While here, Agent Tom has located Dr. Kirk, a wanted criminal and leading mind on clean energy. The anomaly here is Dr. Kirk is meant to have died 3 years ago. So we, a member of a crack military team, are sent in to infiltrate Ibis Island Research Center and extract Dr. Kirk for our government. The intro movie has no subtitles, which is a shame, and the audio balancing is really showing its age. It must be said, though, the CGI visuals still stand up remarkably well. We parachute into the island, but one of our team, Cooper, misses the landing spot and ends up in a forest. Unfortunately for Cooper, he's not alone. Now, this is one thing Dino Crisis does very differently to Resident Evil. It shows you the big bad right away. Everyone knows Resident Evil games are zombie games, but they still pace out the zombie reveals, leading to that iconic turning face scene in the first one. In Resident Evil 2, you've got the licker crawling along the ceiling. Even the film Jurassic Park doesn't actually show you the dinosaurs until about 1/3 in. The build-up matters. The big bad remains in the shadows. But not in Dino Crisis. Opening cutscene, it's a T-Rex. Get ready for dinosaurs in a crisis.
Drawing an anime character today. Rough sketch first. Adding highlights. Final step, share it on Reels.
Let's meet the 3 remaining team members. Squad leader Gale, rough and ready, in charge, no nonsense. Tech support Rick, sassy and argumentative, not in charge, some nonsense. And your character, Regina, a red-headed woman. And that is all the characterization you get. Look, I don't hate Regina because there's nothing to hate in the same way there's nothing to love. The character design is memorable because of the red hair and cool spy suit, but beyond that, she is a really bland character. Regina isn't her real name, that's a code name. We never learn her real name or her history, her loves, fears, wants, desires, family connections, friends, lovers, losses, successes, where she came from or where she wants to go to. She is voiced in cutscenes and voice acting is fine for being 25 years old, but she has no real character depth beyond protagonist. We learn more about Gale and Rick than Regina, and they both have more compelling reasons for doing stuff and the choices they make. In fact, the game has 3 3 specific moments you get to make any kind of choice, and that choice is always do Gale's plan or do Rick's plan. Now, not every game needs a fully fleshed out protagonist. Sometimes the protagonist is simply an insert for the player, allowing you to choose your own name or your own look, allowing the players to think they are the one involved in the actions of the game. But they haven't done that here. This is Regina. She is meant to be an individual unto herself. They've just forgot to actually write that. So we huddle up and prepare to break into the facility, which is oddly quiet. Okay, this is the first checkpoint.
Something's wrong. The lights in the guardhouse are out.
Maybe this has been a wild night of partying for the guards. You know, a little song, a little dance.
Stay here, Junior. Leave the guards to me.
Hey, did you hear what he just called me?
Forget about it. Just let Gale handle this.
Alright, it's clear.
It seems all is not well on Evil Experiment Island, so we go and look around, and this is the first major change from Resident Evil 1 and 2 to Dino Crisis. Resident Evil games at the time used pre-rendered backgrounds, similar to all Final Fantasy game boss fights, meaning while it may look 3D, this is actually a flat image or a flat animated image, and there are no 3D light sources or mechanics interacting with it. There are no physical objects within the game world to block your line of sight or your shooting sight, and the character movement is actually confined to a layer which is mapped to the image but is not the image itself. Dino Crisis, however, used an actual real-time 3D game environment, meaning the enemy AI would be restricted by walls and objects. Shooting could be blocked, and the camera, while still a blend of static and on rails, could fly along those rails into the level itself because it physically existed. This also allowed larger 3D puzzles to exist, and moving objects in the environment would be used a lot. The downside of real-time environments is because they need processing power to be updated, they can't be as stylized or as detailed as pre-rendered ones. I mean, look at the opening scene of Resident Evil 2 on the street with the shop front. Fire, debris, implied death, colour. It's beautiful. Compare that with Dino Crisis, which is technically more impressive, but visually less remarkable. This is one of the reasons that Dino Crisis 2 went back to pre-rendered. While designers are impressed with technical advances, players just want a good game. And 25 years ago, real-time environments just didn't have the edge over pre-rendered background graphics. I do like how even in the cutscenes we still get the door transition visual, nice way to tie cutscenes and gameplay together. So the team splits up to look for a way inside the island. The camera is on the track and flies up close, and we quickly find a rip in the chain link fence. The dialogue here being painfully late 90s, and nobody on this team sounding professional except for Gale.
Let me guess. This is some of your handiwork, right?
Brass is still warm. These guards were shooting at something very recently.
So who are they fighting?
Oh my god, what the fuck is going on,
I
bro?
don't think these guards hit anything before getting sliced and diced. Whatever they were shooting at came in through there, ripped right through the steel fence.
Well, the hole is nice and clean. But I still say you could have done this.
Very funny. Still need to figure out what happened here. Continue to sweep the area.
Small graphical quirk. See that spinning box item? That's meant to be behind the chain link fence. And if we run closer, we can see that it is indeed behind the fence, but the object icon from this angle spins on top of the fence graphic. Ironically, this is the exact kind of graphical issue that having a 3D rendered environment instead of a pre-rendered background is meant to be able to solve. So I raised this to GOG, and yeah, apparently it's a known legacy issue. Thankfully, this is the only part of the game this happens in. This locked gate says we need the B1 backup generator key, and I very much appreciate being told what key we need, so quick gameplay rundown. Tank controls, left and right turn you can run forward or backward, or a quick 180 if needed. Very rarely useful as we'll be running past most enemies. I push this shelf out of the way, grab a med kit from underneath it, and why do I already have a grenade gun? So I chose original mode and then easy mode because I remember that easy increases Regina's health, and I know this is a hard game, but it seems easy mode does more than that. It is mechanically different, starting you with the shotgun, several ammo types, and the grenade launcher. And I just don't feel this is fair. So I have restarted on normal mode where you only start with the pistol. Around the outside we find our first dead body torn apart. You can search it for a medical item which we'll mix later. And now our first puzzle. Restart the generator by switching these batteries around to match the coloured order on the wall. Pretty simple stuff. Do that, power restored. Back to the guardhouse, but now we are being stalked.
The single CRM that keeps you on track. Pipe Drive, driving business growth.
We have a Southwest chicken salad sandwich made with shredded chicken, black beans, corn, tomato, jalapenos, scallions, taco seasoning, mayo, sour cream, and butter bread. Don't forget the butter lettuce and to pile the fixings on high. Business.
Our first dinosaur fight, so I run away and chainsaws via the gate. But no, it follows you, even jumping over the fence. And I love this because dinosaurs
Oh,
are
wow.
not zombies, and what you've come to expect from Resident Evil is flipped on its head. Zombies are slow. Dinosaurs are fast. Zombies won't follow you from screen to screen. Dinosaurs will. In fact, the behavior of the dinosaurs was different enough to the classic zombies that Capcom describes Dino Crisis not as survival horror, but as panic horror. A zombie is a moment of I need to get away or kill it. You must survive. A dinosaur is too fast to let you decide, so you'll just panic. Now, they're not a perfect horror enemy. We'll see later they have many mechanical flaws, but they're a nice change of pace, where one zombie usually isn't a problem, but one dinosaur absolutely is. So we run far enough away and the dinosaur gives up. But why did I run and not fight? Well, let's talk about the weapons the game gives you. You start with a pistol, and this is a trap. It is utterly useless against everything. The amount of bullets needed to take down anything is so high you're almost guaranteed to take at least one attack in retaliation before killing anything. It's there to give you the illusion of safety, and you'll very quickly realise you should never use it ever. The shotgun is better, but still you're better off using the sleep darts and running past stuff while it takes a nap instead of actually trying to kill anything. And the grenade launcher is so late game, it's only useful for the final boss. That said, there are only about 4 enemies in the entire game you actually want to kill, and they don't respawn, and you'll be killing them with the insta-kill one-shot poison darts we'll be making later. If you do get hit, you take damage, and if you open the menu screen, you'll see Regina's face, and her health bar is nowhere. So when injured, you'll start limping. Maybe you'll bleed and leave a blood trail behind you. You can use med packs to heal and stop the bleeding, but how do you know when to use a med pack, or how much health you actually have? Whether you should use a small, medium, or large med pack? Well, you kinda don't. There's no way to know how close to death you are at a glance. It's very much a, if you get hit, heal kind of strategy. Quick radio call from Rick. He's heading to the security room we should follow, and now we have a map. Blue is where we are, red is where we need to be. Now, you won't always have a red destination, and sometimes you'll have the final destination highlighted, but you'll need to pick up an item along the way from a different room, and you'll just need to remember where that room is. There's also no arrow or compass, so you don't know exactly where you are or where you're facing in a specific room. Inside the building, we find some red laser grids. We'll be able to turn these on and off later, and then rappel up into the vents to move around. The event system is always safe, and if you can remember the connections, serves as a shortcut around the whole facility. Eventually, we reach the large main entrance hall, and I think they were trying to match the vibes of the entrance halls in the Resident Evil games. The cinematic glance around, the zoom out with the camera, the echoing sound, but it feels lacking. Because of the 3D environment, it's a basic grey colour palette. Visually and mechanically, it's rather dull, rather small. There's just not much going on here compared to, say, the Raccoon City Police Department. We find some handgun bullets. Remember, you have to manually select the type of ammo that you're equipping from the menu every time. There's no way to fast do it in-game. And on the wall, we find a green box. The game has yellow, green, and red boxes you open with plugs. Once a box is open, you can access any box of the same colour from that box. Boxes contain medical stuff or ammo, letting you store excess items in them too. And eventually, we meet up with Rick in the security room, but there is no sign of Gale. We need to head to the underground bit of the facility. You'd think with the whole dinosaur issue, we'd just radio to escape, but it turns out Cooper, the T-Rex snack from the opening, had the only long-range radio, so we're stuck here until we can turn the facility antenna on. as well do the mission. Press on, find the shotgun and one half of a DDK lock. The shotgun is the best weapon in the game by far, as it can fire a variety of ammo, and the DDK system will become a real convoluted problem real quick. Basically, every locked door requires two specific discs, a cipher and a code. Just think of them as two keys for one door. The way they work gets increasingly complex. We find a note about the DDK system lock and then a card key which says Leo. Except it doesn't. It says 037 upside down, but you're not meant to know this yet. When you leave this room, you're asked if you want to save. Dino Crisis has save rooms. You can save an unlimited number of times, but only when trying to leave these rooms. The dinosaurs, while scary, are none too bright and will run into laser grids over and over and over again. We find our first tranquilizer dart and the second part of the H-code unlock. Upstairs, then get attacked by a raptor, which knocks the shotgun out of your hands. So pick it up, re-equip it, choose your ammo, and then get it knocked out of your hands again. This is why running past enemies is often the best choice. I find a memo with the code for the weapons locker in the staff room, 7687. And if you forget this code, you can check the memos you found in nowhere. You can't actually do that. You have no journal, no diary, no collected notes section. This is old school, baby. You're writing information down or you are forgetting it. And you genuinely do need to write a few numbers down. Open the weapons locker, find the upgrade for the gun. To use that, you must first equip the gun and then try and equip the upgrade bit, and it will combine them. Ironically, this doesn't use the mix system, which combines everything else. Leave the room, get jumped by two raptors, and die. This is where your continues come in. You respawn in the previous room, and both enemies are now asleep. So walk, don't run, and you'll be fine. Head into the office and crack the door cipher. The DDK system is used on a few doors and grows in complexity. At first, you simply remove the letters shown in the cipher from the main code. Later, you need to remove entire columns of letters, then they use a replacement cipher, swapping letters for numbers, and finally a combination of all of them. Thankfully, the answers are all really simple, like how the chief's office is locked with the code Chief. In here we find a survivor. They give us another keycard. This one says Sol, except it doesn't. It's 705 upside down. You can now put both of these keycards into the wall safe, matching the medal and the symbol on the wall, and inputting the 6-digit combination to access the actual keycard. But when you try to leave this...
One day I want to ace my serve. One day I want to fill my passport.
Next!
One day I want to nail my skincare routine. So I make healthy choices and take a multivitamin designed for women. One a day is the multivitamin designed for every woman's one day. We're here for you. Science that matters for nutritional support. Grab your one-a-day vitamins at your favorite retailer today.
Boom. This window smash was the moment in the demo that everyone realized Dino Crisis was going to be something special. This was the big, scary moment, and you deal with it by just kind of standing still and shooting whenever the T-Rex lunges at you. Just wait for it to open its mouth and shoot. You come to realize very quickly Dino Crisis is a puzzle game. It's not action, it's not horror, it's not even panic really, it's a puzzle. Every scripted fight is a puzzle to solve. In fact, when you count the locked doors, ciphers, restarting generators, fixing computer terminals, and rewriting ID cards, Dino Crisis has more puzzles than dinosaurs. A more accurate title would be Puzzle Facility, featuring dinosaurs. Escape the office and return to the room, but our inventory is filling up, so let's mix stuff, and this will become a major mechanic. Mixing lets you combine two things into something better. Some objects are made to be mixed, like the intensifier or the anesthetic aid. Med packs come in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large, but each of these has 3 versions, regular, plus, and plus plus. A Medpack Small mixed with a hemostat makes a Medpack Small Plus. There is no difference from the base version to the Plus or the Plus Plus. A small Medpack is the same as a small Medpack Plus Plus. You just need to progress through these phases before it can become a better item used in mixing. There's a handy chart here which lists all the combinations. But here's a useful tip. None of these combinations matter except the resuscitation, which gets you up after death, or the insta-kill poison dart, which one-shots anything except the T-Rex. Both of these items are the ultimate endpoints of combining anything with anything else. So when your inventory fills up, just mix whatever you can together to make space. Keep one med kit as a backup, but ultimately, you just want the poison darts. Find a guardsman's diary with the code This gets us the main entrance key, and outside we find the body of Mark Doyle, employee number 47812. Remember this? You'll need it later. A quick radio update lets us know Dr. Kirk may have been spotted, so we give chase. And I like this. If you interact with a map on the wall, it will update your actual map with more rooms. That is a lovely mechanic. More dinosaur ambushes into a room, find a key for the backup generator from the start, and then danger flashes up. This happens a few times in the game. It's a quick time event where you just press everything really fast. Mash all the buttons. If you mash enough, you will live. If you don't, you will die. So mash buttons and get saved by Gale via the power of gun. And you will realize Gale's entire personality is gun. You will also notice in the cutscene a bit of model shake on Gale, or objects in the foreground whenever they're close to the camera. This is an artifact of scaling the graphics up, not game-breaking and infrequent, but also noticeable. Hello, post-editing Josh here. Interesting point on the flickering issue because it will happen more. My friend Andy edited this video, and Andy is a competent designer, so he noticed the issue and was able to explain it to me slightly better. We take for granted nowadays something in 3D design called Z buffering, which stores the distance from the camera for every individual pixel on the screen. This Z buffer makes sure that when many 3D objects exist in a gaming space, depending on where the camera is at any given time, pixels behind other pixels don't get drawn on top, even though they exist within the gaming world. But Z buffering was a bit too expensive for the humble little PlayStation 1 to be able to do. This is another reason why pre-rendered backgrounds look so good. They don't need to Z buffer, as the background technically didn't have a distance from the camera, it was just a background image. There were, however, a few workarounds to effectively do what Z buffering does on the PlayStation without actually doing it. The most common technique, and one he believes Dino Crisis is using, is called the Painter's algorithm, which works out which edge of a polygon is closest to the camera and then draws all the pixels onto that polygon. Unfortunately, this creates problems with overlapping polygons where the closest pixel changes order, or parts of a polygon were both in front of and behind another, which is the nature of 3D shapes. It was such tricks and clever camera angles like this that allowed us to have 3D on the PlayStation 1, which lacks the memory to handle the set position of all those pixels, but the more polygons overlapped in the scene, the more noticeable the flaws in that technique became. Basically, it's this console doing its best. Meet back up with the team in the control room to discuss the plan. We need to go to the underground area. That means fixing the backup generator, which we now have the key for. Back to the starting area and another identical battery switching puzzle. Return and the dinosaur jumps through the glass and the music gets a bit crazy. Panic mode, if you will. Music in Dino Crisis is, for the most part, fine. It's atmospheric, it's spooky, and during moments of panic, it's a disorganized, chaotic mess which works really well. Right up until that music keeps playing during a long puzzle section later and doesn't fit the mood at all. But we'll get to that soon. Back at the control room, the first major choice of the game. With the generator running, we can now go into the lower levels of the facility and find Dr. Kirk. But there's also a distress signal coming from the east, possibly Cooper. Team leader Gale wants to search for Dr. Kirk, stick to the mission, but Rick wants to forget the mission and go and find the distress beacon, potentially saving our friend. This devolves into an argument, and honestly, Rick does not sound like a disciplined soldier at all.
Look, we'll deal with it later. Our first priority is the survivor in the underground. Could be the doc.
What are you talking about? He's asking for our help. We don't leave our own behind.
And what if it's a trap? You want one of us to come and rescue you?
Don't bother. I'm willing to take that risk.
Remember our mission. We're not here to babysit.
That's your way of operating, not mine.
Live from New York!
It's the best sketch ever been made.
I gotta have more job.
Writing's hard.
My first audition, I threw out. Yeah, I got fired.
We gonna talk about it.
You now need to make the choice. Do what Gale, your commanding officer, wants and go and find Dr. Kirk, or go with Rick on a rescue mission. And I have issues with this. Regina has no personality of her own, but both Gale and Rick have defined characteristics. Serious and focused versus capable but undisciplined. And Dr. Kirk, who we meet later, is a very strong character, but not Regina. The only choice she, or you, the player, will make is to obey Gale and stick to the mission, or follow Rick and go off course. Both of these will ultimately get you to the same place, but it's basically the game asking you to try to do the other. Well, the game stops you. You can't change your mind. Which is odd, because to get the secret ending, you literally need to do that. The final choice of the game is to say you're going to more than specifically so we follow Rick, and then a pterodactyl swoops down and picks him up. Mash those buttons for into a wall. Set the sketch in your face. Dino Crisis 1 has 5 enemies. 4 if you don't count the T-Rex. You essentially have raptors, flying raptors, small raptors, and larger armored raptors. I know I joke they're all raptors, but the enemy behavior is exactly the same. They run or fly at the player and attack you until you are dead. You deal with them all in exactly the same way. Zigzag wall running past them, go into another room, or in the case of the large armored raptor, use the poison or sleep darts, then run past them. I said earlier that all boss encounters are puzzles to be solved. The same is true about enemies in specific rooms. The solution is always run around them, and no room is very big. Reach Rick, and it seems the distress signal was not coming from Cooper, but actually Agent Tom, the guy from the intro movie who was undercover here, the guy who discovered Dr. Kirk. Agent Tom says Dr. Kirk is not researching clean energy, at least not anymore, and we need to get the generators back online to power the lift. This is the third restart the generators puzzle. This one is a bit more complex, involving lowering 3 coloured pipes from the ceiling and matching them up to connect across the room. The challenge here is how long the animations take of each lowering and raising. There's no way to fail this, it's just a time sink. Solve the pipe puzzle, generator back on, picked up by another flying raptor, and almost dropped into a spinning fan blade, but the bird decided to dive in first, then head with Rick deeper into the facility. So you saw the beast, right?
Yeah. Pteranodon.
Saw that it was a real dinosaur. It's unbelievable.
Didn't I tell you?
Yes, Rick, this is just like that movie. Resident Evil, but with dinosaurs. We can't move through this warehouse because some of the boxes are in the way, so use the crane control card from your inventory to activate the crane. Just be aware item use is inconsistent. Some keys and items get used when you interact with the thing they are for, like turning on a computer or opening a door. Other times the thing says, you must use this item, and then you have to go into your inventory and manually use it. There's no consistency to the design. Right, the crane puzzle. You can only move the crane a limited number of times, shown by ordering these input cards. You must clear a path. This is the most convoluted system. Who designs a crane like this? Imagine turning up to work and this is how the crane works. So we clear a path, find some more memos on some more dead bodies, then a raptor jumps us and we kick it back into an electrified panel. New enemy, small raptors, lots of them. The shotgun can clear them out nicely, but honestly just save your ammo and run past them. We catch up with Rick and Agent Tom, and oh no, they got ambushed and Tom is dead. Rip in peace, Tom. But the worst thing is, you can't even take his Uzis. Let me have his Uzis, game. He's not using them. He's dead. You'll also notice this is a medical room and a save room, and it has literally the exact same layout and the same camera placement as the previous save room. There's even a memo in the same place on the same table. It's a copy-paste room without one of the doors. We head into the strategy room and find the fingerprint reader. An important file on the table tells us that we can use this to rewrite ID cards. So now we've got a use for all the dead bodies and employee numbers we've been finding. Use the fingerprint scanner on a body, find the ID number of that body, rewrite a card for them, and use that to head deeper into the facility. We take the elevator down and get jumped by a raptor. Remember, when you shoot them, they're not dead until they start bleeding, but they will fake their death and lie down. If they are just lying there, shoot them again. A note tells us the DDK lock system is going to get more complex, a number replacement cipher. Thankfully, the code for the laboratory is laboratory. Frankly, by now, I'm amazed the gun safe wasn't 1, 2, 3, 4. Sleeping dinosaur creepast, all sneaky beaky like, and here's a visual touch I love. Regina will turn her head to focus on an enemy, so you have a small visual clue that there is something around the corner. That's a nice touch. We find the handgun sights. These allow critical hits, which again is a trap. Never use the handgun. And then we find info on something called the third energy. Basically, it's an unlimited energy supply, and whoever or whichever country could harness the third energy experiment would be the dominant superpower forever. I can see why we want Dr. Kirk. This experiment room that explains that red gas neutralizes green gas, blue neutralizes orange, and green neutralizes purple, sort of like rock, paper, scissors. And this matters because we unlock the experiment chamber and find a researcher trapped inside being poisoned. Worry not, my friend. I will save you. Just need some red and oh no, that was bad. Maybe some green. Have some blue. Okay, that's not working. Have more of everything. What happens if you add red twice? Oh, he dies. Well, nothing to be done now. Slowly neutralize the gas and head on in. If you did save him, you get a key for a medical box earlier. Either way, you get his card key. Leave, and a raptor jumps you, falls into the gas room, and you can then have a lovely moment of catharsis and poison it. Rewrite the scientist's key in the library computer by playing a bit-swapping minigame, moving sections to the top of a list. Use this to open a library hard drive and find the second card needed for the secret lab. Attacked by 2 more raptors and begin to limp and bleed. I like how you leave blood footprints as you walk and then used a maxed out med pack to fix everything in one go and reach the room with the secret entrance.
This is how I watch a basketball game. It's all about the change with the one-court tactile broadcast. I'm about to watch the entire game through my fingers and my ears. We have a status button that tells me the score, how much time's left, all what's going on. It's really a big deal because I don't have to ask my sighted friend a thousand times, hey, what's the score, what's the score? And then we have these buttons for tutorials for anyone going to use this device for the first time. So easy a blind man can do it. It uses real-time data with haptic feedback and audio to let me know exactly what's going on in real time. You don't understand, I've been at basketball games having no idea what's going on, like cheering for the wrong team. Let's go, play ball! The ball is vibrating in real time, and I can follow it on the court here with my hands. It tells me when someone shoots, and then if they make it, the hoop will vibrate twice. Let's go! I didn't realize they even move around the court that fast. This is revolutionary. The Trailblazers are the first team to adapt this in the NBA. We need everyone to do this. The entire court is tactile, so you can feel every part of it. Like, I'm fully involved in real time. Yo, did you see that? I can watch the game anywhere. We even got another blind user over here, Vic. 2 words, life-changing.
Escape route through the emergency hatch.
Voices
is the narrative frame.
They do this most interesting season. Congratulations, partner. It's the anniversary. Which of you has seen that the first time?
Rick and Gail. You're just a passive voice. You're a kingmaker. You're the deciding vote, but never the idea haver. But if this were recontextualized as this event is happening, what do you think Regina should do? And then your choice is reacted to by Rick or Gail. That's mechanically the same, but narratively, we've now placed you and Regina as you as the driving force of the choice, and let the supporting cast react to your choices instead of you reacting to theirs. I'm pretty low on ammo because the game doesn't give you a lot, so I'll go with Rick's puzzle idea. Plus, if you fail the puzzle, you end up shooting your way out anyway, so there's no reason to not try. But I hope you've got a pen and paper handy. Remember the letters which flash up from the cards on the screen. Do this 3 times, with each time getting faster and more complex, and eventually you'll unlock the escape hatch. We begin our escape, return to the container room, and finally catch Dr. Kirk. The Doctor questions our authority to do anything, and Gail counters with the power of gun, and the Doctor concedes. But now we need to call back up and escape. This means activating the communications dish, so we take the Doctor's keycard, which gives us access to a deeper part of the facility, head back to the original control room, and operate the lift to get to the final floor of the complex. Down here we find the antenna activation key. Activate the antenna with the key, and now we can go call in the evac team. We begin to head back to Rick, and it's our old friend the T-Rex. Just run. You can't fight this guy here, and if you do get bitten, it's game over, so same tactics as before. Shoot it every time it lunges at you to push it back. Do this 3 times, and it goes away. We head to the helipad and wait for escape. The pterodactyls are back, the raptors are swarming, and here is another block-pushing puzzle as a little treat. We find the grenade gun, so that's nice, and then back to pushing blocks. If you mess up, you have to leave the room to reset the puzzle. The issue here is this is kind of a fake-out ending, so the action music is playing constantly. It's keeping the energy up, but a logical block puzzle is not the most action-heavy sequence. It's not intense, so there's a real disconnect between the music and the actual gameplay experience. Reach the helipad, and the helicopter is here. Reinforcements have arrived, and we are saved. We can leave, but oh no, Mr. T-Rex is back and he fancies a helicopter as a light snack. With the rescue team now killed and the helicopter destroyed, we start one of the stranger boss fights. You need to wait for Rick to fix the elevator in the corner so we can escape the helipad. And this means run in circles around the crashed helicopter, staying away from the T-Rex for about 3 minutes. You can't fight back, shooting it does nothing, so just run in circles. When the lift is fixed, head into the facility, but yet again another elevator needs fixing.
This whole facility's probably held together with tape and glue.
We find a note on a body saying there's a boat on level B3. That is our only escape now. So we descend deeper and the power goes out. Time to fix a generator for the 4th time this game. Floor B3 is a big puzzle. There's a control room down here. If we had power, Rick could open the door and give us access to the port and the boat and freedom. So we search around and find a new enemy type, armored raptors. These guys are just bigger and faster, and this is where the insta-kill poison darts are very much needed. We find 3 crane cards scattered around, activate the crane, and another block-moving puzzle using limited movement cards, but this one does have an interesting trick. I assumed there is a final position for each block on the floor, but there isn't. You actually end this puzzle by picking up a block and then not dropping it back down, keeping it on the hook. That's pretty clever. Moving the blocks lets us get to a key card on a dead body, and I like how if you're injured, the walking upstairs transition animation still shows you being injured. This visual is super cool, and probably the best use of the 3D environments over pre-rendered assets. Running through the security room and seeing the body scanner in the foreground, showing the weapon you're carrying. This is a great use of 3D space and camera positioning. Also a lovely visual tie-in to activating the intruder alarms. You can break Dino Crisis 1 into 3 acts, roughly, each with a different overall vibe and main objective. From landing on the island to finding Agent Tom is the first act. This is mostly outside or in the superficial offices. It's tense, scary, dark. It's the closest the game gets to being Resident Evil horror. The second act is from finding Agent Tom to calling in the escape helicopter, which happens in the warehouses, the generator rooms, and has a bit of backtracking to gather older codes. The vibe now becomes puzzle, exploration, less fear and more tactical travel. And the third act is from here until the end, the objective being get to the port. The location is the science labs, and the feeling is honestly tedium. By now, you've realised the best tactic for all enemies is to run past them, insta-kill them, or put them to sleep. And each room is so small, you're never more than a few seconds away from escape. Stranger. Turn the intruder alarm off, head back, and then actually quite a good jump scare. We get ambushed by a dinosaur jumping out of this vent, but there is a fake out first. Nothing attacks you. Then it appears. Then we find Rick and Dr. Kirk having a lovely chat in Dr. Kirk's office. We grab some more code keys and then a dinosaur jumps at me while I'm running to open a door, but thankfully once you do open the puzzle screen, the dinosaurs just sit and wait for you to solve it first. Rick has hacked the system, but there is a problem. We still need a key, and an overheard radio conversation says the guy who has the key is being chased by Mr. T-Rex.
You got me, Mike? I found the key to the port, but I got a lizard riding on my tail. I'm heading to the main elevator right now. I'm at ground level. Hurry!
Back to the main lift where the radio chatter came from, then the T-Rex bursts into the room, headbutts the generator, and dies. What a great series of events. The problem with this is the generator is now destroyed, so the door won't open, so we can't get to the key we need. So now we have to fix the generator for the 5th time. We open a door, grab the port key from the dead scientist, and return to Rick. But there's another problem. The corridor to the port is blocked by one of those strange third energy anomalies. Rick flips a coin into it, and the coin is vaporized. So yeah, we probably shouldn't walk through this. This means we need to turn off or overload the third energy generator to destroy the space-time vortex, allowing us access to the port so we can escape. So back into the labs we go. We use the fingerprint scanner to gather some more dead people data, and then use more files to find more employee numbers and rewrite more keycards to give us more access to more rooms, and thankfully the code to the stabilizer room is stabilizer. Thankfully in here there's a great use of sound, as we can hear a raptor munching on something before we can see it. The third energy corridor, which would get us to the generator, is locked. The code is Dr. Kirk, and inside we find the colossal main generator. We run along and the graphical glow